Hello, my name's Hannah Turner, and I will be starting Lip Walk in the fall. I love to just be able to hang out with my friends, and I work all the time at a daycare, so being able to learn about social and emotional learning is very helpful. But just because I have 4 and 5-year-olds, so I'm at that early childhood stage. Um, my topic was specifically for social emotional learners for PK through second grade. The objective would be students will be able to learn competently in their social and emotional environments. So students will be able to learn knowledgeably. They know what they're supposed to be learning in these environments, socially and emotionally. What is social emotional learning? It's also known as SEL. You'll see it referred to that a lot. It is a term referred to how students control their emotions, interact with others, use compassion to understand others' needs, form relationships, and make good choices. There is a program called CASEL. I think they call it CASEL, but it is the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learners, defined SEL more than 20 years ago. They collaborate with leading experts and promote districts, schools, and states nationwide to drive research, guide practice, and inform policy. There's 5 competencies of CASEL. If you look right over here at the little picture, it's it's social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision making, self management, and self awareness. So social awareness is like students are able to interact with others socially. They're able to be aware of their surroundings and who they interact with. The relationship skills is being able to form that relationship and be able to talk with a friend, share, just different things like that, just to be able to form a relationship. Responsible decision making, self management, and self awareness. Just self awareness is like self control. Why is social emotional learning important in early life? These skills are what allow students to feel more comfortable inside the classroom as they form relationships with their other classmates. The 3 main skills that preschool through second grade teachers teach throughout the years are relationship skills, self control, and initiative. These basic skills set children up for success. If students don't have these social emotional learning at a very young age, then as they get older, they're not going to adapt to it very well. They're not going to know how to form relationships. They're not going to know how to have self control and initiative. Self control is just like whenever students they get mad over something that probably wasn't that big of a deal, or it wasn't a big deal to us as adults, but to them it's a very big deal, and they don't know how to control themselves. Like for instance, since I work at a daycare, I'm in the 4 and 5-year-old classroom, so whenever a student has a toy and the other student wants that toy, instead of asking them, hey, can I have that toy when you get finished, they go up to them, jerk it away, take it away from them. Well, that other student will just take it away from them back, and that just results into a big old conflict, and they get mad at each other. Hitting probably comes into effect, and that's when you have to teach them about self-control. If a student is not comfortable paying attention and sharing with other classmates, then it's very hard for them to learn. They just don't feel comfortable in the classroom. It's very hard. The benefits of social emotional learning is academic improvement, not only on test scores or homework scores, but also like in the classroom, also improving in their relationship skills and just talking with their peers. That goes for better social interactions too, just being able to associate with their peers better and sharing. The ability to care for themselves. I know in the 4 and 5-year-old classroom, they know how to go to the bathroom. So giving them that job of walking down to the bathroom by themselves is a way of caring for themselves, is going by themselves and taking care of themselves, making sure they wash their hands. Greater results for students with early identified problems. If you have a student come into your classroom who already has an identified problem, being able to teach them socially and emotionally how to interact with others will give them a greater result. Improved classroom behavior and less aggressive or disruptive behavior. Teaching students about SEL and how to, and teaching it so that they learn it helps improve their behavior. The goal of teaching social and emotional skills is to form students' mental health and confidence so that as they grow, they can adapt and handle what comes at them. Like I said earlier, you can't teach a student about social emotional learning unless it's, I mean, you can, but it's very good to do it at a very young age so that they know and that they grow up with it and they know this is what's right and wrong. Instead of teaching them when they're in high school, it's very hard for them to adapt to it. They can adapt to it, but it's very hard for them to do that. I really like this quote. It says, "Learning how to make friends, take turns, and share toys paves the way for academic success." This quote is very just simple, and I feel like it just fit very well for the preschool through second grade. Just because that's what it's about. They make friends, they take turns, and they share toys, or that's at least what they're supposed to do. And if they can do that, that is just a way for their academic success. How to implement social emotional learning into an early childhood classroom. I really like to start the day off with a friendly check-in. I know you've seen on Pinterest, or you may have seen it in your practicum classrooms, where a student will have an apron or a shirt or something that has different graphics on it. Like one would be a fist bump or a high five, a hug, or just something like that. And as the students get off the bus or if they come into school, they can see that friend standing at the door and know, hey, somebody's here welcoming me, and they can, point to what they want on the shirt. So a friend comes in, they say, I want a fist bump, so you give them a fist bump. That's just a way to socially interact with them. You can do story time, especially for kindergarten, even up to second grade you can do that. But I know kindergarten, they love story time, just to sit on the carpet with them and be able to just talk about different things and read books, and they just love it. You can use books. You can find, there's tons of books. On the next slide, I'll show you some of the books that I found about different emotions. Students work in partnership. You can do the think, pair, share, where they, you ask a question, they find a partner, or they think about it first, find a partner, and then they share with each other what they think the answer is. There's tons of YouTube songs. You can just type in YouTube emotional songs or social emotionally learning songs for kids, and tons of songs come up. You can do a set up a peace place. I had never seen this before until I was researching this topic, and it's just a corner in your room that you set up in your classroom, and it's just got a beanbag or some type of chair, comfortable chair to sit in, and you can either have paper and markers over there, or you can have little breathing exercises, taped to the wall. And that's where a student can go when they just feel like they need to calm down. They've gotten in an argument with a friend, or they didn't get their way. They just need to go to the peace place and just calm down and either, draw out a picture. I know one of the things on here, how to implement it in the classroom, is encourage expressions through art. They can draw out a picture of how they're feeling, and then they can bring it up to you and explain to them, and them explain to you, this is how I feel, and you talk about it with them, and you just talk about how they can resolve how they feel, or if they're really upset, you can try to fix what happened or why they're upset, just different things like that. The breathing exercises that are on the wall, you can do the STAR exercise, or we learned about that in one of our classes in ECE block, about the different ways to calm students down through breathing exercises. There's also classroom jobs. I know when I was or I am still in the 4 and 5 year classroom, just not as much, but when I was in there every day, they loved doing classroom jobs. They loved having a job. They felt important. They felt like they could do something by themselves. The jobs might be line leader, the quietest person in the room gets line leader, or different things like that. There was a caboose. There was the light turn off and on in the light. I can't remember some of the other ones, but just different jobs of push chairs up, or even the teacher helper one day. They love being a teacher helper. They feel so important when they're that. Then you can end each day with a checkout. You can do the same thing that you did as a check-in in the morning, and maybe they feel a different way when they check out. And you can, instead of having the shirt with the different graphics on it, like the fist bump or the high five, you could have a poster in your room or sticky notes, and they can write on a sticky note how they feel and hand it to you. And hopefully they're all happy faces, but if they're sad faces, you can talk with them before they go home of why they feel this way. Just to be able to get them to, because when they get home, they may not be able to tell their parents how they feel, or they may not be able to do that. Some kids can't verbally say how they feel. They can just show it. Let's see. These are just the different pictures that I liked. And the first picture it says, "In our classroom, we say." And I love this because I don't like when students say, I can't do this. I give up. There's different ways to say that. They could say, instead of "I give up," "Let me try a different way." Or instead of "I'm not good at this, how can I improve? How can I be better at this?" And I would love this in my classroom, just because I feel like even if students, if I have kindergartners in my classroom, I can tell them what this says, and I can teach them different ways of saying this. And it just be a reminder in the classroom. I really like the second picture. It says, "Today I feel," and you can do different themes. This theme is Kermit the Frog, but I feel like this is a really cool thing to have in your room. So in case students can't tell you how they feel, they can go up to this poster and point to the way that they feel. This right over here, the third picture, is like kind of like an anchor chart, sort of, but it says, "I hurt my friend's feelings. I can apologize. I'm sorry for it's wrong because next time I will. Is there anything I can do?" So it's basically saying, like, when a friend hurts someone else's feelings, you teach them how to tell them that you're sorry, that they're sorry, or how you can make it right. These are the different books that I was talking about that you could do during story time for social emotional learning. You can do it through reading them a book. The first book is The Invisible Boy. And it's about a little boy named Brian who is going to school, and he just feels left out all the time. Friends, his classmates don't notice him. He said he just feels invisible. Well, then one day a new friend comes to the classroom, and Brian's the first one to talk to Justin, the new friend. And that new friend, Justin, they become really good friends. They bond. They decide to do a project together. And so the project they did just let Brian shine. It was able to get Brian out of his comfort zone and stand up in the front of the classroom and share that presentation or share that project that they did, so the kids could see them. The kids could see him. Another book is called When Sophie Gets Angry, Really, Really Angry. And I like this book. I've read it before too, my 4- and 5-year-old class. But it was about a little girl who she just really, really gets angry over a painting that her and her classmates do. And her teacher told them to paint a painting. I think it was of outside, of like the sky and the trees. And all of her other classmates painted the painting, the true colors. The tree was green, the leaves were green, the sky was blue. And she was different and painted her tree blue and her sky orange or something like that. And all her classmates were telling her that she was wrong and that it was not pretty, and she just got really angry about it, and it hurt her feelings. And so her teacher got all the paintings up, and they went outside, and they laid out all the paintings down on the ground, and she was able to explain to them that just because hers are different colors doesn't mean that hers is wrong. And so she felt better after her teacher explained all that. There's another book called We're All Wonders, and it's from the movie Wonder. I'm sure you've seen that, about the little boy named Augie, and he had a deformity on his face. And so it's about him and just a cartoon version of that. Then there's another book called The Way I Feel, and it's just about emotions of